Hello and welcome. You're watching from the newsroom. LK Advani today resigned from all the BJP posts, shocking his party and surprising the nation. To talk more about this development, we have the Deputy Bureau Chief of the Political Bureau, Mathew, here with us. Thank you, Liz, for joining us. Liz, let's just first talk about how you are looking at this particular development. LK Advani is well known to be a disciplinarian, also someone who clearly weighs his moves, is very calculative about what he does. Some, however, today are looking at this particular move as an act of petulance. How would you judge this action?
I think it is still a move that he has been considering, and it's a very calculated move, but it could, backfire.
Sure.
Like it's not an act of petulance. He has been miffed with the way BJP leadership has been banking on Modi and the way he has been appointed as the chairman of the election panel. And he has communicated it to the party leadership, and he tried to stop it by not presenting in the parliament the first day of the national party conclave. And the party and the RSS, obviously backed by RSS, they have decided to go ahead with that. And he thought maybe this way he can put in his protest and maybe some kind of stop he can. He can do some kind of control over the things, but it's already been, the decision has already been announced. It is backed by the RSS also, so it is unlikely to change, or it will be very damaging for the BJP to change. So it is unlikely that any changes might happen to this decision of appointing Modi as the chairman of the poll panel.
Okay, we'll discuss how else the party can possibly pacify LK Advani. But before that, just to look into his personal rapport with Modi per se. It was LK Advani who had supported Modi at the time Atal Bihari Vajpayee wanted him to resign after the 2002 Gujarat riots. It was because Advani backed his candidature or his continuance as the CM of Gujarat. To that incident and to what it has come down to today, how would you look at the personal relationship of Narendra Modi and LK Advani?
See, from the beginning, it doesn't think that, Mr. Advani has shared a very comfortable or a very kind of very cordial, I mean, it could have been cordial, but, very close relationship with Modi. Of course, initially he was, Modi as the General Secretary of the party was backed by and supported by Advani. Later, Advani's Lok Sabha constituency fall in Modi's domain, the Gandhinagar constituency. So Advani always wanted Modi's support to win his constituency from, in the Lok Sabha elections. So even then there was a kind of uneasiness, kind of uneasiness between them. It was kind of, they shared a cordial relationship, but not a very deep relationship. And obviously, not so warm to each other. And obviously, when Advani has been nourishing this dream of becoming the Prime Minister since his days of, since it's he who brought BJP into this national stage. So he has been, in 1998, he could not do it because of the coalition pressures, and also because he did not have a secular image or a moderate face, which Vajpayee enjoyed.
And it is quite ironical that the way LK Advani managed to engineer BJP as a national party, someone a force to reckon with, the way he did it, the same reason he could not become a Prime Minister candidate because he did not appear secular enough, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee at that time had been given that position away. But just to looking at all these developments as they have happened, how do you think now at this point in time, BJP has always struggled to appear as a cohesive unit for quite some time now, and this incident has again laid bare the divide within the party. What does this mean for BJP and its image?
See, for BJP, like you said, I mean, even when BJP was in power in 1998 till 2004, this image of one moderate leader and with moderate some who supports him, that was one side. And Mr. Advani used to be like that hawkish leader, and which actually helped, like you said, the BJP to come to power, and which actually stopped him also from taking over as the top, of the Prime Minister of the country. So that divide has always been there. At that time, RSS used to back Advani, and Vajpayee's moderate face used to be backed by the allies. That was a very convenient adjustment for the BJP as a party in power and especially as a leading coalition partner. Now that for BJP it is like, I mean, it looks like if the decision has been accepted, or like if the decision, Advani is persisting on his decision, what will happen is like, it's just that time of Advani, the era of Advani will be fading, and it will be that so-called modification of the party will be complete. Modification of the party will be complete now, because obviously the other leaders in so-called Advani camp will have to fall in line, because if Modi has taken over, knowing Modi's style of functioning, he doesn't need any opposition. He doesn't want, or he doesn't stand any opposition in the party. So obviously the others have to follow. If otherwise, that division, that inside this thing, whenever something happens, that division will come up, and you will have to wait and see like how the so-called Advani camp leaders will react in the elections and in even the post-poll elections.
What also will be interesting to see is the stand of the allies. How do you think JDU, your Akalis, as well as the Shiv Sena, what stand are they likely to take given what Advani has done today? Do you think they would insist on pacifying Advani?
Of course, JDU has already said it will be very difficult for us to go as NDA to poll without Advani. See, this is again interesting. That time Advani was the, in 1998, Advani was the person, the hawkish leader. Now there is another leader who, and Advani has all of a sudden became secular person, or like more acceptable to the allies. And Advani's efforts, like in what he did in Pakistan and his comments on Jinnah, to recast himself as a moderate leader, is now showing result. And the fact that Advani did not resign as the NDA person, NDA chairman, is like, he has left that window open. Like, maybe he can, if the allies consider, he can become the prime minister, like, or if BJP comes to power, I mean, if BJP becomes a party with 150 or 170 seats in the Lok Sabha election, that time, Modi will be finding it very difficult to, pacify all the allies, or like get all the allies around him. In that scenario, Advani's this window will become a door. That is, I think that's what Advani is hoping. And that might happen also, because seeing the kind of reaction, Shiv Sena has also reacted. Advani is the Bhishmacharya of NDA. We can't think of an NDA without Advani. JDU has reacted the same. So considering all these things, it looks like Advani's that effort to reshape, or like image of project himself as a secular leader might yield result.
Right. Now let's also talk about the party patriarch's legacy. This is an important development today. The other key landmarks or the key things of his career, so to say, have been, of course, the Rath Yatra. Then that was the event that made him. Then we talk about the Jinnah incident, the event that unmade him. He had to resign as the party president then. And what has happened today? Where do you think today's incident will figure in his legacy?
See, that will be very difficult in the sense, see, nobody can deny the fact that it was Advani who brought BJP into national stage to power also, which Advani's Yatra has actually polarized the nation on the religious lines, which has helped the BJP to come to 178 seats. That you cannot deny. But then later Advani has fell off with the sunk and fell off with the party hardliners when he tried to project himself as a more moderate leader or a secular leader. Then now again he is now, the fact that the dream he has been nursing for a long time, the fact that he can go to any extent to even at the cost of party's image at a time when they are trying to be a very credible alternative to this disgraced UPA, that will leave a black mark on Advani's image as a political leader.
And ironically today he is accusing the party of having leaders who are only thinking of their personal agenda.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Liz Mathew, for joining us for this discussion, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you.